Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Asana Sana studio. My name is Sana. I just want to say to you good evening and namaste. Welcome to the inaugural class of Asana Sana Strength. Now, in this class, you're probably wondering, what kind of a class am I getting into? Well, this is going to be kind of a hybrid flow between Hatha and Vinyasa. There will be times when you can use weights. You can use kettlebells if you'd like. You can even use the smaller 1 pound weights. But to get the full benefit of this class, you absolutely do not need weights as well. I came up with the concept of this class because, as all of you who are doing yoga classes, I absolutely adore doing yoga. But it is important as we move through our practice that we also incorporate strength into parts of our day so that we don't get super duper bendy and then all of a sudden super duper breaking of the hips as we get older, as they say. So let's get started. We're going to start here. Seated, let's put those feet into a butterfly pose with the soles of our feet touching. And here we're just going to take a deep inhale breath. Exhale as we get grounded into our moment here in this class. And go ahead and kind of rock from side to side, separating the flesh of your bones so that you can get nice and comfortable on the mat in that good, proper alignment. Excellent. Let's take some more deep breaths. Inhale through your nose. Go ahead and exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose once more. Let's exhale through our mouth. All right. Let's get started now that we're nice and centered in class. Let's start rotating our wrist. We're going to be doing a lot of work today. That's going to be using our arms for support. So we definitely want to open up our wrists and get them nice and warmed up before class starts. Nothing too difficult, of course. Remember, this is supposed to be fun. So there are also a lot of modifications. If you're feeling any pain, please stop the pose. Go ahead and rotate your wrist the opposite direction. Very, very good. All right, let's slow it down and bring it to center. Let's roll our shoulders individually. Let's switch going the opposite direction. Let's inhale our hands up. Let's exhale that right arm down the back. Just using our left hand. Take an inhale, exhale, just using that left hand to help push the elbow down as we stretch out our shoulders. Let's hold here for a few breaths. Wonderful. Let's inhale the hands up to the sky once more. Let's exhale, sending that left arm down the back, holding it, pulling it in. Stretching out that left shoulder. Also a little bit of your side as well. Let's inhale the hands once more up to the sky. Exhale, bringing them out to a T. Let's bring our right arm across our body. And again, using our left arm, let's gently press the right bicep as we begin to stretch our right arm across our body. These stretches often feel really nice, and especially if you're hunched over on your phone or computer all day, it's nice to stretch this way. Inhale, let's bring our hands out to a T. Let's exhale, bringing our left arm, doing the same thing, using that right arm to softly bring your arm across the chest more, just for a little bit more of a stretch. Doing excellent. Wonderful. Let's inhale those arms back out into a T. And this time we're going to exhale, but turn our upper body to the right side, placing our hands on the floor or on our feet or on the mat as we exhale, coming into that seated side twist. And let's hold here. And keep breathing. And with each exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper with your twist. Of course, to your comfort. Wonderful. Let's inhale those hands. Let's exhale, coming to center. Inhale, we're going to turn to the left side, twisting. Remember to breathe, breathe, breathe. Doing good. Let's inhale our hands up, coming to center, having our hand at a T. Let's exhale, placing our right forearm on the mat. I'm going to slide over just a little bit here. We're going to exhale, bringing that left arm over seated side stretch. If it is within your practice, inhale, you can exhale that head turning up to the sky, looking up at that left bicep. Excellent. From here, let's inhale, coming to center. Let's do the same on the left side. Palm up, placing the left forearm onto the mat. Let's exhale, coming over to the right. Add it into your practice if you'd like. Inhale, you can turn your head, and exhale, looking towards your left bicep in the sky. Excellent. Let's come up, sitting into our T pose here. Let's exhale. Let's grab our ankles and just inhale, opening that chest up. Nice and inhale. We're going to exhale, coming back. Actually, let's reverse that. Let's inhale, coming into a kind of a hollow back. Exhale as we bring our chest forward. Let's do this for a few moments with your own breath. We're going to do these seated cat-cows just to get nice and warmed up. All right, let's slow down and bring ourselves to center. Let's roll our shoulders back one more time. Excellent. Inhaling the hands up. Exhale, completing a circle, bringing the hands into prayer pose. Wonderful. Now, from here, however you'd like, let's get started in standing. We're going to start our sun style sequence. So coming to standing at the top of your mat, I think I will face you guys for reference here. The top of your mat, let's talk about alignment before we get started. As you know me by now, Asana Sana Yoga equals alignment. So let's start here with our feet about hip width apart. You're going to take your fist and kind of just eyeball it to make sure your feet or your toe knuckles are about hip width apart. I want your toes facing forward. If you curl your toes up on the mat, you want to make sure that you can center your feet onto the mat so that the four corners of your feet are completely secure. From there, lay your feet flat on the mat and kind of grip the mat just a little bit to make sure that you are holding on and standing in good alignment. Coming up, let's bring our legs over our ankles, unlock our knees. You don't want your knees to be locked out. You want to have them nice and relaxed, easy to bend, but straight up. Bringing our hips over our knees, let's tilt our pelvis so that we're in a nice, gentle, neutral pelvis. Remember, your pelvis is like a bowl. You don't want to spill it one way or the other, just nice and neutral. Bringing up, inhaling, we're going to go ahead and bring our wrists over our pelvis and hip bones here. Shrug and roll your shoulders up and down the back, arms by your side. And for your head, you want to make sure that your ears are going to be located right over your shoulders. So if you have to, go ahead and just push your head back, maybe tilt it down a little bit, keeping our gaze parallel. Remember, if we're standing up against the wall, you want to feel like this bone here, your occipital bone, is directly against the wall. Great. So now that we have our good alignment, let's get ready to go. Standing here in mountain pose, let's inhale our hands up to the sky, exhale coming to that chair. Inhale one more time as we exhale, coming forward into our forward fold. From here, let's bend the knees just a little bit to loosen up that back fascia there. The back of the legs getting ready for some movement. Inhale, let's come halfway, flat back. Exhale, placing your hands flat on the mat. Take a step back, coming into that plank. Inhale, exhale as you come down. Let's take a deep inhale, coming up into our first Cobra Pose or downward dog if it's in your practice. From here, let's curl our toes back. Inhale, we're going to send our hips straight up into the sky. Exhaling, we're going to push back into our downward dog. Let's go ahead and walk and pedal those feet out as we walk the dog. Just remember to loosen up the calves and all the muscles of the legs. Maybe come forward a little bit, doing a little bit of a plank if you need to. Excellent. Let's slow it down, bring it to center here. Let's inhale, send that right foot up into the sky. Exhale as you place it in between your front hands. We're going to inhale as we stabilize, shorten your stance if you need to, coming up into that warrior one. Let's bounce here for a little bit here in this warrior one as we warm up our legs, warm up the Achilles tendons and our ankles. Maybe rotate your wrists one way, maybe rotate the other. Excellent. Just feels good to get warmed up. Let's inhale, coming to a complete stop. We're going to exhale, bending forward, placing our hands flat on the mat. We're going to step back our right foot. Inhale, exhale as we come down onto the mat. Inhale up into your Cobra Pose or your upward dog. Let's curl your toes. Exhale, sending them hips straight back into the sky. Let's do the same thing again, walking the dog. Bending out that legs, straightening out those ankles. slowing it down. Let's inhale, sending our left foot up into the sky. Exhale, placing it down on the mat. Shorten your stance just a little if you need. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, down into warrior pose. Let's do the same thing here on this side. If you have music playing, or if you can hear the music that I'm playing, go ahead and bop along to whatever you're listening to. Or if you're not having any music, bop along to the beat of your own drum. Excellent. Let's slow down from here. Inhale, exhale, placing your hands flat on the mat, taking a step back. We're going to inhale, coming down. Exhale, inhale, coming up into that upward dog or cobra. Curl your toes. Exhale, coming into that. Pushing back into your downward dog. Let's take a step or a jump to the front of the mat in between your hands. Let's inhale, coming up flat back. Exhale, placing your hands down. Inhale, coming up once more time. Exhale, coming down into prayer pose. How do you feel? Good, I hope. Well, let's go ahead and do that one more time. And I'm going to take a hot sip of tea real quick. It's always important to keep yourself hydrated. All right, let's get started again. Start at the top of the mat here. We're going to inhale the hands up into the sky. Exhale, coming down into that chair pose. Inhale as we come up. Exhale, rolling right down into your forward fold. Inhale, coming up flat back. Exhale, place your hands flat down on the mat. Take a step or hop back, coming into that plank. Let's inhale, exhale as you come down. Inhale, lifting yourself up into your upward dog or cobra. Exhale, curling your toes, coming into our downward dog. So let's inhale, sending our right leg up into the sky. Exhale, placing it down on the mat. Let's turn that left foot 45 degrees and come up, reaching out into a lunge with our right arm facing over our right leg into warrior two. And let's hold here for a moment, straightening and bending the legs. Excellent. Let's inhale here, turning our body, coming forward, placing our hands on the mat, taking a step back. Let's come down. Inhale into that upward dog, curling the toes. Let's exhale, sending our hips up into the sky, into our downward dog. From here, let's inhale, send the left leg up into the sky. Exhale, placing it down on the mat, dropping that back foot on the 45-degree angle. Let's come on up, warrior two. Feeling good. Excellent. Inhale that back hand coming up. Let's frame the front feet, taking a step back. Inhale, exhale down. Coming up into that downward dog. Curling your back toes. Exhaling, coming up into that downward dog. From here, let's hop, skip, and jump to the front of the mat. We're going to hold here in this hold, this forward hold if you like. And from here, we're going to sway our hips just one more time. Feels good to feel good. Whew. Relax your arms. Let them spin around, kind of figure eight. So I'll come to face you so you can see what I'm doing. If this isn't feeling too good for you, you can definitely shorten your pose, coming up just a little bit. What we're really doing is just releasing our arms. So if bending over isn't comfortable or in your practice today, please come up to standing and go ahead and windmill your arms out. All right, however you're standing, everyone come to stillness. Let's come back up. Inhale, coming halfway. Exhale. We're going to inhale the hands up to the sky. Exhale, bringing our hands down into prayer pose. Great. Let's meet at the top of the mat one more time for one last sun sal. Meeting here. We're going to inhale the hands up. Exhale, coming to our chair. Inhale, coming straight down, placing your hands flat on the mat. Taking a step mat on the back, on the mat, excuse me. We're going to inhale, exhale our way down. Inhale, coming into that upward dog. Let's exhale, sending our hips up into the sky. Placing that right leg up into the sky. We're going to place our foot down. Let's drop our back foot once more as if we're coming into warrior two. Warrior two, but we're going to straighten our leg. Shorten your stance if you need to. And send your hand, your left hand, sending straight down your back, to the back of your leg. Here, we're going to come into humble warrior. And if it is within your practice today, go ahead and face up into the sky. And then just show a little gratitude for being in class today and getting here and for your body and everything that your body can do. Let's inhale, bringing then his hands to the front of the mat. Let's take a step back. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, let's come back up into that upward dog. Curling those toes. Let's exhale, sending the hips back up to the sky. Inhale the foot up to the sky. Exhale. We're going to drop that back right foot once more. Inhale like we're coming up into a warrior two, but we're going to straighten the legs and shorten the stance. Sending our right arm down our right leg as we recline back, humble warrior. Again, sending gratefulness to the universe and thankful for everything. Oh, what a beautiful day. Okay, let's inhale, windmilling those hands back over, placing them flat on the mat. Let's take a step back. Exhale, coming down into that plank. Inhale up into your upward dog. Curl your toes. We're going to send your hips back, coming into that downward dog. And let's hop, skip, or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, coming up, back. Exhale. And then we're going to end up coming up one more time. Exhale your hands down into prayer pose. Wonderful. Whew. Well, I hope you feel ready and all warmed up for the next part of our class. Like I said at the beginning of this, it's going to be a Hatha Vinyasa, kind of a power flow hybrid class. In today's focus, we're going to be working on the core muscles. Now, working on the core muscles is absolutely not about getting a six-pack, although that would be nice. However, it is an important part of our posture that we strengthen the muscles of our core so that we don't round ourselves forward and ruin our posture and kind of end up hurting ourselves in ways. So if your lower back is hurting, this is the kind of flow that's definitely going to work out for you. All right, well, let's find our way to a seated position. Let's sit long ways on your mat. I'll face this way for your benefit here. Excuse me, I'm just going to move my tea over. And keep your water nearby. This is definitely going to be something that's going to make you sweat just a bit. All right. Coming into this seated position here, we're going to inhale our hands up. Exhale, we're going to come forward, kind of reaching towards our front toes. If you can grab your toes, take your peace fingers, slipping them between your big toes, and just give them a pull. If this isn't in your practice, you can also pop your knees up just a little bit to stretch out your legs here. Excellent. All right, let's inhale, straightening our legs out. Exhale, let's take our hands, placing them next to our hips. We're going to point our fingers forward, making sure our hands are, all four corners of our hands are supported on the mat, and our fingers are just a little bit spread. As we grip to the mat a little bit, we're going to inhale, coming into a reverse plank. So inhale, coming up into a reverse plank. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. So if you're ready, I'll show you a modification too. If you're not feeling the reverse plank today, no worries. You can just bend a leg back and come back into your reverse plank and your modification with your knee on the ground. Totally cool. If you'd like to add to a challenge today, you can also go ahead and cue reverse plank tips. So everyone has their reverse plank of choice. Let's get into position. Rolling your shoulders up and down. Don't forget about your alignment. Let's inhale, coming up onto our heels for that reverse plank. Very good. And don't forget to breathe. You want to make sure that you remove the tension from your neck. You should be able to move your head around easily. And if it was within your practice today, you can go ahead and exhale, releasing your head, coming to a full reverse plank. Remember, as we get to the end, not to drop your hips. So go ahead and make sure your hips are up into the sky. Keep breathing. We're almost there. Let's take that last inhale. Exhale your hips down to the mat. Wonderful. Let's inhale, exhale. Exhale, coming forward, rolling out the body. How does that feel? Excellent, I hope. All right. Let's straighten up and find your way to either your right or your left side. Doesn't matter. We're going to complete this pose on both sides. We're going to come into our side planks next. So from here, what you can do is we're going to make sure we have good alignment here. We're going to place our hand underneath our elbow and our elbow underneath our shoulder. It's very important that we place that there. And you want to go ahead and put your feet kind of as if you're in a walking motion. We're going to push up into our half plank here, keeping your hips aligned. We're going to hold our half plank here for 30 seconds. This is the half plank pose. If you'd like to modify, you can also do your half plank down on your knee. Not a problem. And if you'd like to advance your practice today, you can go ahead and place your foot on either your calf or on your upper thigh and come into a side plank tree pose. So everyone, we went through the planks. Pick your plank of choice. Let's get started. Make sure you have that good proper alignment. And here we go. There you go. I'm just going to hold a nice side plank, and we're just going to hold this here for 30 seconds. Be sure to keep breathing as we hold our side plank. These poses are also really wonderful for opening up your heart and expressing gratitude and love for everyone that is around you. All right, let's take that last inhale, exhale, and we'll slowly come down onto the mat. Excellent. Great. Let's find our way to the opposite side. If you're following along, I'm moving around to my right side. Your left. That's how it goes. Okay. Getting into our position. Let's get our feet up into the sky. Wonderful. And exhale and hold. Doing wonderful. Maybe this side isn't feeling it so much. If you want to drop your knee down, that's perfectly fine. Just remember to keep yourself in your good alignment. You're doing excellent. Keep holding. We're almost there. Taking that last inhale, exhale. Let's come down seated on the mat. Shake out our hands and wrists. Wonderful. Doing good. From here, let's come into our laying pose. We're going to lay ourselves down here. Now, before, what we're going to do is come into our eagle crunches. So I'll show you quickly how to get your hands into the eagle crunches. For this one, let's take our right hand, keeping it under. We're going to bring it underneath our left arm, bringing it back around so that you can Garuda pose and twist your arms up. As we are laying, just twist your right leg over your left here, bringing your legs up onto the mat so that they're bent. We're going to go ahead and do eagle crunches for 30 seconds. All right, let's get ready. Everyone pick your pose. If you like, you can just hold it as a straight plank. You can do upper or lower legs, up to you. Everybody inhale, let's get going. And it's not about how many you can complete in 30 seconds. Honestly, it's about the movement of the flow. If you like, you can keep your head down and just bring your feet up and down. You can keep your feet bent and just do toe taps. That is also a viable option. It's about the movement and flow. All right, let's take our last inhale, exhale as we release our body, spreading out on the mat. Breathing, stretching out, making sure we're bringing up our core a little bit, maybe bringing our chest up as we inhale. Exhale, bring our back flat to the mat. How do you feel? Great. Let's come on up. This time we're going to rotate around and we're going to come into our downward dog. So once we're here in our tabletop pose, curl your toes, exhale, coming into downward dog. And from here, we're just going to stretch forward and back a little bit. We're just going to get ready for the next pose. All right, slowing down. Our next position is we're just going to do a kind of a flying dog, if you will. So we're going to send our right foot up into the air. Inhale, exhale, coming forward. Inhale out, exhale, coming forward. We're going to do that for 30 seconds. To modify, you can go ahead and do this one on the mat. Inhale, exhale. All right, let's get our position of choice. Let's get ready. Curling those toes, coming up into the upward downward dog. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. Oh, you guys are doing wonderful. You know, and sometimes it seems like a pose or a class may be a little bit more difficult than most, or it might be something that's not really up to your challenge, but until you try it, you never know. All right, inhale, slowing down. Exhale, let's come down into our tabletop. Spread your knees wide. Exhale, we're going to hold right here for a child's pose. Didn't think you'd get this much work in a yoga class, huh? Well, I didn't either. Doing good. All right, let's come back into that tabletop pose. Bringing our knees in. Remember, we have to do the left side. Curling up those toes. Exhale, come right back into your downward dog. Let's inhale the left leg into the air. Exhale, knee coming forward. And here we go, 30 seconds on the clock. You're doing excellent. And it's perfectly okay to need to modify to bend that other leg. And again, it's not about looking perfect. It's about doing it safely, getting in as many as you can. All right. Take that last inhale. Exhale the knees down to the mat, spreading wide, coming down into our child's pose. Excellent. Whew. All right. Let's roll over, coming back to our bottoms. We're going to finish out this first series by going ahead and coming into a canoe or a boat pose. Now, a canoe pose is just a boat pose that's held lower. If you like to hold that, if that's a new challenge today, you go right ahead. If you like to hold a boat pose, you get into this pose sitting, standing up, or sitting up, knees bent. If it's in your challenge today, go ahead and start here. If you feel like you're ready to add a little bit more, go ahead and lift your legs up. Remember, we are holding here for 30 seconds. If this becomes a little bit too much for you, go ahead and lower your knees or your feet. You can also use a block as a prop here underneath your toes to help build up your practice to the point where you can get to this one day and even this. So let's get into our pose of choice. Everyone, take an inhale as we come up, extending our hands forward. And as we exhale, bring our legs up to our post, holding boat pose, 30 seconds. I think I will do the variation when my feet are on the block. And the nice thing about blocks and props is that it seems as if having a block or any kind of prop in your yoga practice would lessen your practice. It absolutely does not. Your core is still engaged. Or if you're doing this pose, your abs are still engaged using a block. It's just helping you in your position to hold it a little bit better. All right, let's inhale, exhale, coming down flat to the mat. Let's send our hands overhead as we stretch out our body from our boat and or canoe pose. And let's take some deep inhales, laying them out, deep exhales. Inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. Well, coming up to seated. I don't know how you guys, I feel amazing. I'm ready to do the next set. So let's get started. We're going to start up once more time with our reverse planks. We're already here in this pose. Don't need to warm up by coming the other direction. So let's get our hands by our hips. We're going to inhale, sending those hips up into the sky. Remember your reverse plank of choice. Inhale, sending the plank up. Let's go. Exhale, 30 seconds. Let's breathe. And remember, if you are having a hard time holding the pose, remember to breathe and to bring yourself down. It's perfectly fine. You can even vary if you'd like. The point is to try and maybe challenge yourself if it is within your practice this day. Because some days this is easy and some days this is easy. Just depends on the day. All right, let's take that last inhale. Let's exhale, bringing our hips to the mat. Inhale, sitting forward. We're going to exhale, grabbing our ankles or grabbing our toes if it's in the practice, coming into that forward fold. Now remember, don't slouch over. You want to make sure you keep yourself nice and upright as we come into that forward fold, stretching out those muscles. All right, from here, let's turn onto our right side, get ourselves prepared for our side plank, making sure our hand is underneath the shoulder. Let's bring it up, side plank. If you can, if it's within your practice, you'd like to give it a try this time, come into a tree and let's hold 30 seconds. Sometimes it's not in my practice either. We're human. It's what happens. If you fall out of the pose, just come right back in. That's the point of yoga. All right, let's take that last inhale. Exhale those hips down into the mat. Swinging around, we're going to come back onto our left side. Let's plant our hand firmly and securely on the mat. We extend our legs to come into our side plank pose. Inhale that hand up into the sky. Exhale, hold. As tempting as it might be, do not forget to breathe while holding these poses. It will really help you much easier. And also, it's the proper way to do yoga. And it's breathing. Breathing is fundamental, you guys. Wonderful. Let's take that last inhale. Exhale, coming down onto the mat. Let's extend our bodies, laying down onto the ground. You know what's next. I don't like the word eagle crunches. Let's come into another one. How about eagle curls? This time, let's take our left hand, placing it underneath, bringing it right over the top. We're going to come into our hands this way. And then we're going to take our left leg, cross it over our right. And we're going to inhale, coming up to our lovely eagle curls. Keep breathing. Eagle curling. Remember, you can keep your head on the mat. Maybe bring your legs up. You can even do it straight. The point is to keep breathing. Whatever your eagle curl by choice is, let's exhale. And releasing our arms and our legs, stretching overhead, maybe bringing the chest up, getting the head off the mat, coming to a little bit of a fish pose. Breathing deeply to kind of undo those knots in those muscles. Exhaling, bringing your back flat onto the mat. Let's curl up, bringing ourselves up into tabletop. This time we're going to do something a little bit different than last time. Last time we did our bird dogs into our down dogs into our bird dogs. This time we're going to do a little bit of tiger posing first to get ourselves nice and ready. So let's loosen up the wrists, get those all going. Let's get ourselves into our tabletop pose. Let's shift our weight to our back left side. We're going to inhale our leg up, our right leg, exhaling it straight out to the back. Let's shift our weight over to the right hand, inhaling our left hand up and straight out. We're going to go ahead and do our active tiger pose, coming into a knee curl, just like that. 30 seconds on the clock. Let's go. You want to inhale as you curl in, exhale as you extend the arm out. It's not quite like a workout, it's just an active yoga movement. Wonderful. Let's come into our last inhale, exhale as we place our hand and our knee onto the mat. Let's inhale, dropping that belly, curling up our face. Exhale, coming into our cow pose. Just to kind of opposite the movements. Excellent. All right, let's get ready for the other side. Let's shift our weight into our back right knee. We're going to pull our left knee up, exhaling, sending that straight out into the back. It's inhale that right hand up, exhaling it out forward. Let's get into our active tiger. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. Now, when you do these active tigers, you want to make sure that you're not kind of slopping yourself out. You just want to keep them nice and controlled. Slow down your movements. The point is to keep yourself nice and straight and keeping your hips squared by pretending that there's like a marble at the top of your hips. That way you're not kind of bending over to the side there. All right, let's inhale, exhale that hand and that knee to the mat. Inhale, let's open the legs. The knees, exhale, coming down to our child's pose. It's always nice to do a child's pose after an active tiger, definitely. Wonderful. Let's inhale, bringing ourselves back up into tabletop. Let's bring our knees, back into that good hip alignment. Let's curl our toes, and as we exhale, come up into our downward dog. Let's get into our active bird dogs with that right leg. Let's inhale it up into the sky. Exhale, coming forward. And remember, if this is not in your practice today, you can stay on your left knee and just point your leg up into the sky. Careful to keep your back nice and flat and not to overextend yourself. Make sure you keep breathing as you move through your active movements. Inhale. Exhale one more time. Let's bring our foot down to the mat and bring our left foot up into the sky. Repeat on that side. Inhale. Exhale out. Again, if you need to, just place that right foot on the ground, lifting that left leg. Make sure you keep your hips nice and square as you inch your left leg out into the sky. Coming to our last inhale, exhale. So bring our knee back down on the mat. Spread our knees out wide. Inhale, exhale, coming into that wide child's pose. And if you like, when you're in your child's pose, you can go ahead and stack your hand one right over the other, fisted, placing your head right on there for supported child's pose. Or you can use a block. All right, from here, let's come back onto our backs. We're going to get back into our boat or canoe pose. And for a refresher, if it is in your practice, canoe pose is here. You may boat pose with your knees bent, with your hands down, whichever feels comfortable for you. Remember your boat pose of choice. It's inhale, coming straight out, hands forward or down on the mat. Inhale, here we go. And holding here. This is an excellent pose for grounding as well. It's important to also keep your back straight and up. You don't want to slouch into your boat pose. Slouching makes leaky ships, no leaky ships. Doing excellent. Let's inhale, exhale, placing your feet down on the mat. Inhale, exhale, everyone, let's come down. Stretching our hands overhead. Getting out of our flow. Wonderful. How does that feel? I hope that feels great. Excellent. Let's take a deep breath here. Stretching out. Great. Let's inhale, coming up. We're going to turn over one more time, coming into our front here. And for here, we're going to start our cool down today in a plank pose. And I know what you're going to say, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff we already did with our core. Why a plank pose? Because it's a nice way to just end the session. Of course, you can do your plank pose by any modification you'd like. If you'd like to plank with your legs down, your knees down, go ahead and just get right onto your forearms, thumbs up, and just place your knees down, right down on the mat. You can also curl your feet and come up into your plank pose with a flat back. I'm going to perform the modification this evening, and that's how I am. And if also you like to, you can go ahead and plank with your hands straight as well. So everyone, plank pose of choice. We're going to start kind of release down so that we can all inhale, curl up into our plank of choice together. So let's curl our toes. Let's take a deep inhale. Exhale, coming up into plank. Let's hold here and keep breathing. I know it may be difficult, but don't let your hips drop. You want to keep your hips nice and up and your back straight to get the full benefits of your plank if your knees are down or if they're up. Doing wonderful, everyone. Doing good. Keep holding, keep breathing. If you find yourself struggling in this time, go ahead and drop your knees, coming into that modified plank. And from here, let's take our last inhale, exhale. Let's slowly come back down onto the mat. Placing your hands on your shoulders, let's inhale, pushing ourselves up into tabletop, spreading out our knees. As we come into our exhale, we're going to come back into that wide child's pose, extending those arms for a good, decent stretch. Wonderful. As we love this pose, let's find our way into seated here, placing our bottoms onto the mat. Remember, if you bend one way, you got to bend the other. So we're going to extend our legs out in front of us. Let's come down onto our elbows here if it isn't within your practice. We're going to inhale, pressing up just slightly. Exhale, bringing the hips down, keeping ourselves and our head dropping a little bit. Fish pose. Hold here and keep breathing. Let's inhale, releasing our back, bringing our head up to the sky. We're going to exhale, coming down to our mat, head on the mat. Let's inhale our feet flat onto the mat here. Holding here for a moment. We're just going to rock our pelvis back and forth to our breath. Inhale, curling it up. Exhale, bringing it back. As you inhale, flatten your entire back onto the mat. Exhale, curl it up, bringing your chest up into the sky. Let's do these for 2 more breaths. After our last exhale, flatten your back completely onto the mat. Let's bring your arms straight against the side of your body, flattening your palms and spreading your fingers. You want to make sure your shoulders are nice, rolled back down to the mat, and you have yourself supported in your upper body, bringing your weight to your heels. Let's inhale, curling our pelvis up off of the mat, coming into our bridge hold pose here. And we're going to hold the bridge pose. Remember to keep breathing and don't drop your hips. If necessary, you can go ahead and use any modifications. If you have a block, go ahead and place a block under your hips for supported bridge pose. Let's hold here for 2 more breaths. In through the nose. And with that last exhale, go ahead and roll yourself down into the mat. Wonderful. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, rolling our hips off on the mat. If you need a block or a prop, go right ahead and use it. Let's come into our supported bridge pose. Keep breathing as you support yourself. Remember not to let your hips drop. And in order to keep your knees from collapsing, just remember you want to kind of push them a little bit forward or a little out. You want to keep yourself nice and engaged by spinning your hips. There we go, rotating your hips. Excellent. Let's take our last inhale. Exhale, rolling everything flat back down onto the mat. Now let's take our right leg, sending that up into the sky. We're going to just go ahead and give it a pull according to our body here. Go ahead and breathe. Go ahead and flex and point the toe. Maybe rotate it one direction and rotate it the opposite direction. Wonderful. Now let's bring that opposite ankle, that right ankle, onto our left knee. Let's inhale our left knee off the mat at 90 degrees. We're going to take our hands palm over palm in the back of our hamstring. Inhale, pulling our knee forward. Exhale, keeping that bent leg 90 degrees, coming into our pigeon. our reclining pigeon stretch. Keep breathing deeply, and with each exhale, try to see if you can pull your knee a little bit more into your chest. This is a wonderful move to do if you sit in a chair a lot all day. For sitting in your bed for a lot of the day, before you go to bed, just go ahead and performing this stretch. It helps stretch out your piriformis. Your hip feels really good. Take our last inhale, and with an exhale, we're going to take our left hand, placing it flat on our knee. We're going to twist our figure forward legs, our reclined pigeon, over to the left-hand side while we extend our right arm, coming to a reclining twist. You can go ahead and straighten out that bent leg if you like. I like to keep mine bent this way. Keep breathing. Wonderful. Let's inhale ourselves back up to center and bring your feet back down into the mat. Unhook your legs. Everything, both feet are on the mat. Let's take our left foot, sending that up into the sky. Inhale. We're going to exhale as we pull that leg a little bit closer to our body. Go ahead and flex and point the toe to your comfort. If you need to bend your knees, certainly can. Let's rotate our ankles once more. Rotate one way. Let's rotate the other. Give ourselves a little bit of a calf massage. Let's inhale, exhale. Let's bring that left ankle onto that right knee. Exhale that right knee up, keeping our right leg 90 degrees, the foot flexed. Inhale, bringing your knee a little closer to your chest. Exhale, coming into that reclining pigeon. And breathe as you relax into the pose. And remember, with each exhale, see if you can pull your knee just a little bit closer to your chest. All right, from here, let's take our right hand, crossing it over. We're going to touch the top of our left knee. Inhale, we're going to exhale, bringing those knees over to the right side, extending our left arm out, coming into that twist. Keep breathing and see if you can relax into your pose just a little bit more with each exhale. Excellent. Let's inhale those knees back up to center. Exhale your foot flat to the mat. Inhale one last time. Let's exhale, extending our legs. Inhale our hands up and overhead, stretching. Exhale, dropping your feet to the side, arms to the side of your body. Let's finish up this evening with Shavasana. Wonderful. So just drop your legs, feet apart, relax your hands and your arms. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take 3 big more breaths here. Each exhale. Let's relax a little bit more. Last one. Great big deep inhale. Exhale. And if you haven't already, let's flutter those eyes shut as we come into Shavasana. And before you come out of your Shavasana, I'd like to read to you today from the 365 Days of Tao Daily Meditations. This reading is on feasting. Feasting is the flame in midwinter that kindles the fire of friendship and strengthens the community. In the past, feasting was a way to bind the community closer together. The same is true today. Whether they are cultural gathering, times of group worship, or even special dinners with friends over Zoom, we need moments where we come together and reaffirm the importance of our group. The cheer that we feel is essential to both to the collective and the individuals involved. The affirmation of the group should not be a sublimation of the individual, but rather a framework for involvement. A good gathering requires participation, the efforts of organization, work, and attendance, and in turn gives back sustenance for body and soul, a sense of belonging, and the accomplishment of something that could not have been done by the individuals alone. Like any other human endeavor, the feast is vulnerable to manipulation and politics, the selfish maneuvering of cynical individuals. This is difficult to avoid completely, for it is impossible for any group to be truly united. The only way is to mitigate this, for the collective to keep its intention strictly on its purpose, to select leaders wisely, and for those leaders to be as enlightened as possible. And before we come up into our seated position, let's rub our hands together. Bring them over our eyes. Let's gently bring some movement into our toes, rotating our ankles and our feet, and moving our body just a little bit. Let's remove our hands from over our eyes, shaking our arms out, twiddling our fingers. Let's rotate to our right side if you can keep our eyes closed, holding there for a moment. Let's bring ourselves coming up into easy seat. Inhale those hands up into the sky. Exhale, opening your eyes and joining me here as we say good evening. And I hope you had a wonderful class today. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. As always, I had a wonderful, wonderful time. I hope you enjoyed the inaugural class of Asana Sana Strength. Keep coming back for more here Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And as always, I will say to you, be the light in which you wish to see in the world. See the light that you wish to see in the world. Bringing up Om Shanti. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are, whenever you are in the world. Bye.